Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back. This is Force here with some more Hearthstone. The latest adventure is here. Blackrock Mountain, starting off here with the first wing Blackrock Depths. And in this series of videos, I'm going to show you the heroic versions of the bosses and what I used to defeat them. Starting off here with the first opponent, this is the Grim Guzzler, and led by Corin Direbrew. And what I decided to go with here, well, first of all, let's talk about the mechanic. In normal mode, the ability Pylon gives them a minion and you a minion randomly from your deck. However, here in Heroic, he's got more health in the 30 plus the 15 armor, but he also gets 2 minions every turn to your 1 minion. So what we're going to do is I've decided to have a deck that's filled with massive creatures, but also some stuff that could give me value, including Sylvanas or even Malygos, for example. And then we're running some spells. Spells to either get rid of some of his damage by clearing his board, or more specifically, the opponent has this ability called Get 'em, which adds 4 1/1 taunts to the board, and that can be a huge headache. So having things like Fan of Knives and having Blade Flurry are going to help you bypass that, and that's also partially why we decided to go with Rogue here. Another thing that could certainly work would be a Control Warrior with something like Whirlwind. You could see that being effective as well. But dealing with that ability, him getting 4 1/1 taunts in play, is quite a headache. Now, he doesn't end up actually dropping it in this particular example match that I'm showing here in the background, but it happened in a majority of my games prior. So trying to mulligan into the Fan of Knives, or if you're playing the Warrior, getting that Whirlwind, or anything that could get past it, that's going to work. But basically, that's what you want to do. You want a deck with a ton of huge minions, try to get some stuff that'll give you some value. As I mentioned, something like Sylvanas or Malygos if you're running damaging spells. Something that can give you some extra value on top of just getting a huge creature in play can really go a long way. And there's also this fine line of balance. As you're seeing here in this particular turn, I'm going to be doing some trading. I'm going to be getting rid of some of his damage as opposed to just going straight for his face. You gotta balance that line between, sure, I need to smack him in the face, but then at the same time, I also need to try to make sure that I'm not about to die next turn. In fact, in this upcoming turn, you're going to see a similar thing here. So we've got the Molten Giant in play, so that gets to go down for free. But then beyond that, I am going to have to try to get rid of some of his creatures because I'm only at 9 health. And I guess the other good thing, too, depending on where you are with your collection, is that it seems that a lot of the stuff that he's pulling into play, they're just some basic common and uncommon and rare creatures. He's not running like a full deck of legendaries, which is, thankfully, the next heroic boss does end up running a full deck of legendaries. But yeah, it's just it's not as bad as it could potentially be. They didn't make it as insanely challenging, which I'm actually glad, because people who don't have decks full of legendaries, it would be a huge problem. I mean, in this particular example, the deck that I'm showcasing here is incredibly expensive. I mean, there's just massive and massively expensive cards. So if you don't have that in collection, you might say, well, is this going to work? It'll still work. You can just run the larger creature similar to what your opponent is running here. Keep in mind that you're going to want something for the board clear for the reason that I mentioned, for his Get 'em ability. Once more, that gives him 4 1/1 taunts. As long as you've got something to get rid of that and some massive creatures and then maybe some extra damage for his face, that could all work out. And then to top it all off, I did end up getting lucky on this brawl. I suppose the odds were in my favor, however. Something you do have to be concerned with, though, is that there's a minion that he has in his deck that always wins brawl. So if he gets that in play, obviously, as you assume, you're going to lose the brawl there. So we're going to go ahead and attack with that 8/8, put our 9/7 big boy in play, and then pass the turn. Then we do just end up winning in the next turn. I actually get a extra thing that allows me to win, which is the Malygos there, plus my 2 Sinister Strikes for a nice fancy finisher there. That's the exact reason I have the Sinister Strikes, honestly, is in case Malygos drops down in play. But there you go, guys. That is the heroic version of the Grim Guzzler. Thank you so much. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned, as I will come out with some more guides for the other heroic bosses in this first wing Blackrock Depths. I'll see you guys later. Take it easy.